Okay, so for the quiz that we had on Wednesday, when I say factor completely, generally you look for GCF first, right? So GCF is, are there any terms? So if I think about this whole piece being my first term, and then because all of this is being multiplied together, it's considered a term, and then it's being subtracted from this second term. So I'm looking at between these two terms, do they have any factors in common? And right, and factors are just, the numbers that we're kind of multiplying to get to the term that we have. So if I look here between the 4x squared and we could say negative 8x, their GCF, right, between the 4 and the 8 would be 4. And then between the x squared and the x, the GCF would just be x, right? I have to say, well, what's the factor that they both have? Technically, this is 4 times 2, and this guy's just x times 1 or just x. This is 4 times 1, and this is x times x. So I look to see, well, what are their common factors? Okay, they both have a 4. Perfect. They both have a factor of x. Perfect. And that's all they have in common, so that's my GCF with those two, just the 4x, right? And then I do the same thing with the second factor, we'll say, which is this guy here, right? 7x minus 1 to the third. I have another 7x minus 1, this time to the fourth. And again, just like I had an x squared and an x, and I only took the x, I can't take out more factors than both of them share. So because this has 7x minus 1 3 times, and this has it 4, all I can take out is 7x minus 1. They both have that factor at least 3 times, right? So then I say, okay, well, what do I have left over? When I divide this by 4x, I'm just going to put it under here, I end up with just 1x, right? When I divide this piece by 7x minus 1 to the third, the whole piece cancels out. So I don't need to mark anything else here. Out of this term, I divided out a 4, I divided out an x, and I divided out all of this, so I'm just left with an x. And then I'll put minus. Same thing here. When I take out the GCF, 4x, I'm left with 2. My x's cancel. And then when I take out the 7x minus 1 to the third, I had 4, but I'm dividing out 3 of them, so that means I just have 1 left, 7x minus 1. You can put to the 1 power, but we don't really need to. Right, so it's basically factored. I took out all the GCF. That's really all I could do, but this guy here just needs to be simplified. So I'm going to rewrite this, 4x, 7x minus 1, that's my GCF. And then in the parentheses, I have x minus 14x minus a negative 1. Minus 2 times negative 1, so a positive 2. And then, again, all these pieces on the outside that I'm factoring, just left here. Inside, I'm just going to use parentheses now that I don't have a lot of stuff here. 1x minus 14x is negative 13x, and then the plus 2. So this is my completely factored form of this original expression. And all it was is GCF because I don't really have much more that I can do. Instead of, multiplying everything out, that would just make it a little bit more challenging. So just look for GCF always first. And then if I could factor more after that, I would, but there's nothing more to do. So this is my completely factored form answer. I hope that helps. We're for sure going to see tons of factoring over the next couple of months. So just let me know if there's other questions you have.